Well, I have arrived at the Poorhouse Road Tunnel. It is good and dark, and we are going to spend about 12 hours here overnight checking this place out. So let's head on inside and see if we can see any ghosts. So the reason I've come out here is because this is purported to be one of the most haunted places in the area. You're supposed to hear all kinds of voices and see mists and things appear and orbs, things like that. And the story behind the place, as best I can tell, gathered by the internet, is that it is haunted by the spirits of two little girls who were shot and killed here. The story's unclear. It varies a little bit whether they were shot somewhere else and brought here, or if it was a drive-by and somebody, I guess, went and got the bodies and brought them here. I don't know. Like I said, it kind of varies. The story changes a little bit. Another one is some woman was murdered and raped out here in the 60s or something like that, and that there was numerous lynchings after the Civil War during Reconstruction. So, like I said, we are going to spend 12 hours just wandering around, hanging out with this place, and see if we hear anything strange. There are strange noises. I get like a hissing sound every now and then, kind of a scraping hissing sound. It's an abrupt one, kind of a sound. Standing in the right spot over in this, we're at the east side right now. If you stand at that way on the west side of the tunnel, from the east side, you almost get the sound of like a playground type noise. You know, if you're standing near a playground off in the distance, you can kind of get that weird noise. And that's, you know, a combination of lots of different little sounds reverberating in here. So yeah, I can definitely understand how people can get, what is it called, apophenia? That's like audio pareidolia, where your mind wants to make sense of what it's hearing. So like if you're next to a fan or a droning noise, how you can kind of get the beat of a song, you know, your mind tries to make sense of what's going on. And so putting all these sounds together, people do try to pick up sounds and things and voices and stuff like that. Ain't heard any voices yet. Ain't seen no ghosts. Seen absolutely nothing strange, except for all the writing on the wall. This is pretty interesting because most of the writings on the walls here are left by ancient druids who put runes and cryptic spells on the walls to ward off evil spirits. But this right here is interesting because this was also the site of the Polish War, where the armies of the North and South Poles met, and a big battle was here, and it was decided by a very ruthless game of Red Rover. And once it was all over and they played to a draw, Thygthig and Savage Levay, who were the commanders of both the armies, signed their names here to commemorate the occasion. I had hoped to do some audio recording where we could try to get like some EVP, electric voice or electronic voice phenomenon, where we can actually communicate with the spirits. But that doesn't seem to be possible because I'm getting a lot of interference, most likely coming from like the Flat Earth Dome. So the signal's just not that good. So I brought with me one of the most sophisticated forms of communication for supernatural entities known to man. So we'll ask it a few questions and see what we can get. How many fingers am I holding up behind my back? Signs point to yes. Didn't give me the answer, but we're definitely getting some communication here. If you ghosts can walk through walls, why don't you fall through the floor? That's what I thought. I don't know if the camera microphones can pick it up or not over the sounds of the waterfall and things like that over there. But I can hear the highway that's 2 miles away. Crystal clear. I know what that is. That's the highway. But it sounds like you can hear semi trucks going by. So all these little sounds out here, plus there's an animal over here somewhere. Got a deer or something walking around over there. Probably not a Sasquatch, because I deployed Jack Link's beef jerky at each end of the road to kind of keep them away so we could get any ghost activity, not Sasquatch activity today. But all the noises and things reverberate inside that tunnel. So yeah, you can be inside and actually hear a howl, and it's the highway. So paying attention to what the noises are, because I'm coming out here not with the bent of this place is haunted, every bump I hear is going to be a ghost. Basically, I'm coming out here and analyzing what all these sounds and things are that I'm hearing and things that I'm seeing, and coming to a conclusion after I've examined the evidence, not coming out here already with a conclusion, looking for evidence to support that conclusion, if that makes any sense. And tunnels, you know, they're naturally spooky places, I think, to humans, because we're not nocturnal creatures. I mean, people think I'm an idiot for coming out here and spending 12 hours in the dark at a tunnel in the middle of nowhere. So when we come to a tunnel, it's literally a portal from one area to another area. And there's a dark spot in the middle. So naturally, we kind of want to go from the light to get to that other light, and we want to spend as little time in that dark spot as possible. And I think we freak ourselves out, you know, every little sound we hear and things like that. Ascribe hauntings to, you know, things that really aren't. Like I said, it's almost 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun should be coming up. It's still pretty dark. The sun should be coming up pretty quickly. But yeah, I've been out here for 12 hours. Heard and seen nothing out of the ordinary. I think that maybe there's one or two conclusions I can draw. One is the place is haunted and every noise I hear is obviously a ghost. The other is I must be made out of supernatural kryptonite. Because every time I go someplace that's haunted, ghosts just seem to disappear. I ward them off. I'm like a paranormal EMP device. When I show up on the scene, everything ceases. Psychics lose their powers. Bigfoots vanish into thin air. Ghosts never appear. So if your house is haunted and you need somebody to take care of it, I guess I'll just come over and hang out. Everything will be good. So I have survived the night at the Poorhouse Tunnel in Lexington, Virginia. It is now 7:30 in the morning. The sun is coming up. Birds are starting to come out. More wildlife's moving around. How did I do it without being scared? Well, the truth of the matter is, there's more to this video than me spending the night in the tunnel. This last 12 hours is actually the shortest part of the preparation for doing this video. See, I went and visited the local newspaper, the police department, and the local library, all of which predate this tunnel. This tunnel was built in 1883 for the Valley Railroad connecting Lexington to Stanton, Virginia. The town of Lexington was formed in 1778. The newspaper dates back to 1801. We have records of this area that are pretty extensive and detailed. And the truth of the matter is, all of the murders and things that are supposed to have taken place here, there's actually no record of that. So, since I can't verify that any of that took place, and those murders never happened, what's haunting this place? Apparently nothing. So, what about all the lynchings and things that took place? Because this is the South. Well, the truth of the matter is, there are databases of all the lynchings that ever happened, because those were public events. Those weren't things that happened in private. This is crowds and mobs of people murdering someone. So we have records of all of those that took place. And the truth is, Virginia is actually the least lynching state of the South. One is too many, but less than 100 happened within the state of Virginia. None happened here. There were no lynchings that happened in Lexington, Virginia, or the surrounding area. You can go about 30 to 40 miles in any direction and find them. Clifton Forge, Livingston, Amherst, Roanoke, but not here. This is a fairly prestigious area anyway. Robert E. Lee moved here after the Civil War and became president of Washington University, or Washington College, and then it was eventually renamed to Washington and Lee College. So this wasn't like some podunk town where people are just running wild. There was racism here and there was violence here, but no lynchings actually took place here. We can see inside the tunnel that racism is alive and well today, but no one was lynched on this site, according to history, or the records of history that we actually have. So all of the stories about the murders and things here all seem to come from one place, and that is all the paranormal sites just seem to be repeating what they heard from other paranormal sites. And who knows how it all started. Could be as simple as parents trying to keep their kids from coming out here and smoking weed, which is about the only crime I can find that actually took place here. Underage drinking and people doing drugs and partying, and that's about it. Or other kids trying to scare each other, and pretty soon the internet happens and it explodes. So, is the place haunted? Could be. But by what? I have no idea. It's more likely that this whole area would be haunted by the ghosts of Native Americans. Because they were here for 1,000 years before we showed up. So even though this is an old area of the United States, in relation to the rest of the world, this is actually pretty young. And places like Egypt and things like that have history that goes back way farther than the few hundred years that we have here. But, like I said, we do have good records of our history here. And the records show that there's no reason for this tunnel to be haunted. So no, I was not scared at all coming out here. So, Poorhouse Road Tunnel. Is there anything out here to be afraid of? I don't think so. Spider! Ah!